Attention to all students. The time has come. You are required to buckle up and rush to the exam hall this instant. This exam will determine your life. Any thought crimes will be killed. Thank you. Welcome to all. You are sitting for an exam to determine your fate whether to live or die. You are required to make an essay regarding these questions. The questions is, from the narrator's point of view, how much you know about the novel 1984 by George Orwell. I wish you all good luck.
Winston's effort on searching the truth of Oceania's history. Winston Smith has taken the courage to do some research on the background of the past of Oceania. He is keen to know the level situation of the past. Winston also interested in the concept of freedom at that time. He does not aware of the life outside Big Brother and the party, since he only knows about what happened after the revolution. He even confirms the impossibility of remembering the history in page 17 of the book. He can hardly remember the history since the party tells him that history is untrue. He had to believe that because there is no other sources to believe in. He begins his effort by meeting with one of the proles. The proles is the group of people that has been excluded from the Big Brother and the party. They are the working class people who are ignorant, fat, and strong. Winston interested to know more about them. He also has hope for them. This proves in the chapter 7 of the book. Winston decides to meet with the survivor of the Great Purge of the 50s. He is an old man who is about 80 years old. Winston asks some questions regarding the freedom, the comfortableness of the past, and the history, which stated in the page 50 of the book. However, the old man does not provide him adequate answers. This has left him in total despair that he finally chooses to believe in the party's statement that history could be possibly wrong.
Mr. Smith is 39 years old. It depicts simply on an enormous face, more than a meter wide, the face of a man of about 45, with a heavy black mustache and ruggedly handsome features. He is a smallish, frail figure with a varicose ulcer above his right ankle. He is the citizen of Oceania, located in Britain. He works as a record editor in a record department at the Ministry of Truth. He has a family that includes his parents, younger sister, and a wife. He is best described as a man who is hopeful for a better country, but yet gets stuck under the government system, which makes him finally accept his fate as a citizen of Oceania that under the control. On the top of that, he falls in love after he meets Julia and new reality pierces his mind. Love overwhelms him with a wide variety of sensations, all which manage to divert his mind from the current state of things. However, he feels he doesn't want anything else and does not have high hopes because he knows at the end, everything else seems meaningless. Winston embodies the values of a civilized society, which is democracy, peace, freedom, love, and decency. But then, in the government which conducted by totalitarianism, it does not permit such an ending. So, wisdom must be crushed. When wisdom is destroyed, these things are destroyed with him. Wisdom represents the struggle between good and bad forces, and there is no mistaking where the lines are drawn.
From narrator's perspective, I am able to guess how the condition of Brotherhood's movement, where they practice murder, cheat, and betray their country. Winston has highlighted how this secret organization wants to bring down the party. even though they did violence towards the country, but they keep it low and no records of criminals have been filed. For example, in second part of the book in chapter 8, where O'Brien explains on the existence of Brotherhood movement, where the members of Brotherhood have no way of recognizing one another, and it is impossible for any one member to be aware of the identity of more than a few others. And if Goldstein himself, if he fell into the hands of the thought police, he will not be able to give them a complete list of members or any information that would lead them to a complete list. No such list exists. O'Brien added the fact that the Brotherhood cannot be wiped out because it is an organization in the ordinary sense. Nothing holds it together, except an idea which is indestructible. You will never have anything to sustain you except the idea. You will get no comradeship and no encouragement, but once you were caught, you will get no help. This is what we can see from the cases of Winston and Julia. Winston and Julia have committed a thought crime where they hated and against the idea of the party. So they get attracted to the Brotherhood and secretly wanted to rebel. Winston gets really frustrated when he was caught by O'Brien, the spy of the party, and O'Brien revealed there will be no one can defend him as a thought criminals. Winston has ended up captured and tortured by Ministry of Love.
The reader becomes aware early in the book that Winston is against the party's restrictions and begins to conceive the idea that the party should be destroyed. This is because the party controls every individual's lives in which they must obey to the party and the big brother. Winston fears about being caught at night by the thought police, since talking in the sleep is the most dangerous thing of all. Even having sex between the party members is the unforgivable crime. The only recognized purpose of marriage is to beget the children for the service of the party. He remembers that he had an estranged wife who doesn't want to have sex with him because she is too obsessed with the party. When Winston touched her, his wife would stiffen and flinch. The party did not permit divorce, but since they had no children, they parted their own ways. When Winston visited Mrs. Parsons' house, he believed that she will be vaporized by her own children because one day the children will rat out their parents to the thought police. The party brainwashed its citizens to always advocate fear and hate. To do that, the party will do 2 minutes of hate to show hatred towards Goldstein and to stay thankful towards Big Brother. There are also big posters of Big Brother almost everywhere with the caption, "Big Brother is watching you," to remind people that he is the most powerful person in the party and they must stay loyal to him. Winston really despises that because he is sure that life is more pleasant before Big Brother, and he also recognizes how they alter the historical dates in order to match what the party wants people to believe, since Winston works in the Ministry of Truth. They cannot have free thoughts because at the end, the thought police will erase all evidence that exists in the mind, and that is the reason why Winston keeps a journal in order to transfer the monologue that had been running inside his head to the paper. Winston writes the journal in which he hides in a corner of his flat out of the view of the telescreens because the telescreens will immediately can detect if an individual whispers or talks to himself. The language that the party used, which is newspeak, their aim is to destroy the language and to narrow the thoughts of people could have in their mind. Winston does not appreciate the language because it restricts people from having to think in their own styles. From that, we can know what really happens through the surveillance of the party from only Winston's thoughts and experiences in the novel.
So here's the answer book for the students.
What a perfect answer. But they have committed a thought crime. Kill them all.